All right, welcome back to another episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. As always, it's Keith, Chris, and Alex. Adam's out tonight trying to impersonate Roger Federer on the tennis courts. But
so true.
Oh yeah. So tonight we're going to get into coming off of the championship weekend this past weekend in the NFL. We're going to get into what's next for the Cincinnati Bengals and what we think they need to do to try to improve their chances to try to get back to the pinnacle there for the Super Bowl. So, but before we get into that, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. It really helps us out a lot. Helps us grow the family. It's free to you. We're on the push for 250.
Yeah, 250 still.
250 still. So definitely help us out there. Help us get our name out there, and make sure you're liking the videos and drop some comments. We'll definitely get back to you. So like I said, we're going to get into what's next for the Bengals and what we feel they need to do in this offseason to try to improve, or if they do need to improve anything, where those improvements need to come from. So I think a big piece of it is still going to be that offensive line. They tried to make some big moves this year in free agency to get a better offensive line, but it clearly didn't work because they all got hurt at the wrong time of the year. And clearly the best offensive tackle in the draft a couple years ago still isn't helping him out that much. But
Jamar Chase had a great season.
Yeah.
So I think the thing for me, like when I was looking at this, you've got a young guy in Jonah Williams that you drafted at left tackle that you feel really good about. I think he probably underperformed a little bit this season for them, but it's still a guy that you took first round out of Alabama, a guy that's probably going to end up developing into a really good tackle. Lyle Collins obviously was on the IR, but spent a lot of money in free agency to bring him in, and I think the right tackle position for him is the right position, and he'll be fine. For them, it's really the interior part of their offensive line was very bad, and was very bad in their showing this past weekend in Kansas City. So,
well, I mean, right off the gun, Joey B had already been sacked like four times
in the first
4
9
times.
plays.
Yeah, it was insane.
on the first 5 dropbacks.
Now Jonah Williams didn't play in the AFC Championship game. It was Jackson Carman from Clemson.
Well, and Alex Kappa didn't play either, and that was a big piece. That was a big piece they added too, because him and Ted Karras kind of played off of each other, and they worked very well together throughout the season until Kappa got hurt.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think at right guard they're fine. That left guard positions where I feel they're a little bit vulnerable because they like to run off that weak side of that weak side. So
yeah, Cordell Volson is the young. He literally, I think he's a rookie. He drafted in the 4th round. So they can. I really just think that they can get better internally on the offensive line, and there's some pieces for them they got to think about. Hayden Hurst is a free agent, and Samaje Perine is a free agent. Is it worth spending the money to bring Samaje Perine back? Obviously, Joe Mixon gets hurt at least once a year. But
so I was actually going to make that argument is something that you look at this offseason outside of offensive line, another running back. Yeah. Outside, I do agree that Joe Mixon does get hurt a lot, but do you look to try to find someone to kind of cut Joe Mixon down in his carries, but have someone at that same RB1 level that can come out and still produce?
I don't know if Joe Mixon even is the answer though.
That's what I'm saying, because his numbers were very down this year. He didn't have a touchdown past week 9.
Touchdown run.
Yeah, that's what I mean. A rushing touchdown past week 9 or week 10.
Yeah.
So I mean, you went 8 weeks without him having a touchdown.
Yeah.
So it's also one of those things to where do we equate that to just Joe Mixon not being who we think he is, like an actual true RB1, or could it be back to the crappy offensive line? It's one of those situations, but I still don't think Joe Mixon is the correct running back for them. I think they need to make some moves there, and they need to get a good offensive line.
Yeah. So would you look at potentially? I mean, I'm not saying they're going to do this, but could you potentially look at maybe trying to get something for Joe Mixon since he is under contract?
Yeah,
trying to get something for him and maybe go after like a Josh Jacobs.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Someone who's a proven guy who's going to go out there and be a good pass catcher, and can run between the tackles and just power.
You think they could go out and get a guard straight up for Joe Mixon?
I think
they could. They could get
a
for Joe Mixon. I think
there's enough teams that would want a Joe Mixon running back style on their team to where they would give up something for him.
Even if it's just an RB2, right? Like if San Francisco wanted to do it, or the Panthers were looking to kind of put somebody in that rotation for them. So Atlanta could really use a running back outside of Tyler Algier played well this season for him, but
Yeah, when your starting running back is 40-year-old Cordell Patterson.
yeah,
But it's never a bad idea to have that secondary running back, so your RB1 can take a few plays off, catch his breath, and
Right.
you're balancing the workload.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and I guess that's what Chris's point was do you go out and re-sign Samaje Perine, who's been a proven backup for them, who's been solid for them in that RB2 position.
Yeah.
Or do you go out and re-sign Hayden Hurst, who was arguably a very good tight end, a very good check down for Joe Burrow this year.
Yeah.
And it's really going to depend on what Hayden wants in return on that contract.
Well, I don't know that it's even involved around that. I mean, the mock drafts that we were just looking at has them.
Well, they did have the guy
out of Notre Dame.
yeah.
Clearly the best tight end, and been everybody's saying one of the best tight ends to enter the draft in 4 or 5 years. Obviously, they said
Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, they said the same thing about Kyle Pitts. This is exactly what I was going to say. So
That's been an utter disappointment.
Oh God, yes. But
you don't see a tight end go fourth anymore.
Nope. So he would be a really good fit in Cincinnati's offense. I think
Really
Hayden's
would
a really good fit. I really think Hayden has been the
He's
best.
very versatile.
The best Hayden Hurst has been the Hayden Hurst in Cincinnati this year.
I agree.
He's better than he was in Atlanta and better than he was in Baltimore. So
Because he actually has a quarterback.
yeah, true. So. So I think those are some interesting questions. I'm with you guys. I love the Josh Jacobs move. I think somebody is going to walk away with Josh Jacobs this offseason and be very, very happy about it. Whether it's Cincy, Buffalo
needs to go. If Cincy doesn't go after him, Buffalo needs to go after Josh Jacobs. In my opinion.
Honestly, even if the Eagles win or lose the Super Bowl, watch out for the Eagles to think about this. So somebody's going to walk away with Josh Jacobs this offseason and be very happy about it. And for Cincy, that would be a major upgrade to your offense. You lose stability by not having probably a really good RB2 like you do in Samaje Perine, but for the starter, the guy that can play all 3 downs, the healthy running back, he's more talented than those two combined.
Absolutely.
So, on the defensive side for him, a lot going on here this offseason as well. You're talking about 2 safeties for him, and Von Bell and Bates, also free agents. You got to think about whether you want to sign them back. Eli Apple is a free agent.
Garbage.
Yeah, he is garbage. So a lot of decisions here for them on the side of the defense and who they want to think about. So.
I think Von Bell would be someone they would want to try to maintain because Von Bell actually had a really good season.
Yeah.
So I think Von Bell would be one they would try to bring back. Eli Apple, I feel like they would let walk. Somebody I was really impressed with after watching him in the playoffs was that Cam Taylor-Britt.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal in the playoffs. He was in on he was in on almost any play he could have been in on and was just he was a stud out there.
Yeah, young second round draft pick this year. No interceptions for him this season, but 41 tackles and a forced fumble. So,
and was it 6 pass? Yeah,
pass deflection. So
he's in on the plays. He's making tackles.
Yeah, Von Bell at only 28, you still got to think he's probably got another good 4 years left in him. Guy with 4 picks, 2 forced fumbles, 53 tackles this year, and then Jesse Bates played well. Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
4 picks. 8 pass breakups, 38 tackles for him. So I do think if you're Cincinnati, you got to think about the money, making it right, but bringing both those guys back.
Right. Well, and a good thing for them is their front 4, I think, are pretty much locked in for a little while, right?
Yeah, DJ Ritter, Trey Hendrickson, and Sam Hubbard.
Because I know Sam Hubbard just signed a contract this year, so Sam Hubbard's there for a little bit. So it's not so much the defensive line that we're really worried about. It would mainly be that secondary and what they can either maintain or what they can go out and get.
Yeah, so Sam's in until 26, Hendrickson's in until 25, and then DJ Ritter will be up at the end of 2024. So
yeah. So and another big thing that they got to look at too is what are you going to have to do to try to keep Jamar Chase and T. Higgins when those contracts come up?
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
But it's also going to come down to are they going to be those type of players that be like, you know what, we have something special here. Let's maybe not front load our contracts or try to do it in like an incentive based kind of like what the Chiefs did. They got really like inventive with how they did the contract for Mahomes to be able to keep some big key pieces around him. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Cincinnati does in the next couple of years when Burrow comes up for his contract because Burrow's going to demand, I feel, a Mahomes style contract.
Yeah,
he's going to look for that 4 to 450 range.
Yeah.
So you got Burrow, you got Jamar Chase, you got T. Higgins, who arguably are like two number ones. Obviously, Jamar Chase is number one by himself, but T. Higgins can warrant a WR1 anywhere.
Yeah, T. Higgins could really get a big contract in the free agent market when it does come up. So, looking at the draft though, they got picks in every round. You're looking at the 28th pick in round 1, 60 pick in round 2. I think you can get 2 really good players in those top 2 picks.
Do you go offense in that first round, or do you go defense in that first round?
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now.
I mean, obviously, if Mayer is there, I think you'd have to take that. I think you'd probably have to take that because you can get him under a rookie contract with everybody else that you have right now.
I get that, but man, I almost feel like getting a linebacker and getting a corner are really important pieces, and then getting interior offensive linemen. I feel like I can sign Hayden Hurst and be comfortable with that. Just like you could
I would
probably,
be too, but I'm good.
just like you could probably sign an interior offensive lineman and make your offensive line better. But I mean, it's something to think about. It looks like Cincinnati, from at least the mock draft boards, are thinking tight end, whether it's Darrell Washington out of Georgia or Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. But I just feel like that's kind of a way. Like, as a team that's ready to go win a Super Bowl next season, that's kind of a waste of taking a tight end in the first round when you can go get somebody like an elite corner or a linebacker to really make your defense better.
Yeah, honestly, why take the tight end? Because I think Hayden Hurst is all they need.
Yeah.
So
you only have one football and you only get one throw per play. You got freaking Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd already.
Yeah.
Do you really need a tight end to throw the football to?
Yeah.
Well, I mean.
And hell, Hayden Hurst is a great receiving tight end.
He is.
Yeah.
Well, and he's also he also is not afraid to get in there and chip and block.
Yeah.
Even though he missed some in that game, but
he missed some because he was worried about running a route and just
right. He's not afraid to get in there and chip or block. So
no.
But yeah, I mean that's I mean, what do they need to go after? Like you said, you need to go after that interior lineman, a linebacker, or a corner.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. The question then becomes is there somebody that you see as our first round quality talent at your position at that point too?
That is true. Yeah.
If there's not, I mean, if God forbid, if Cam Smith's still there, do you go out and get Cam Smith at 28 with me?
Me personally?
No, I know. but I mean, but you have someone who has a first round grade at right around where you're looking to pick. But obviously, you're not going to take a corner, in round 1 if they got a third round grade. You don't want to stretch that much for it. So that's why I was saying if Michael Mayer is there, they might end up taking him because there might not be something that they feel is at the quality that they want for that certain position.
I mean, if Michael Myers is there, you got to take him. That dude's undefeated. He's just slaying people. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of names I think that are all like Cam Smith's the 4th corner, but Keely Ringo is. I mean, I think I'm with this board right here. Joey Porter probably is the best corner.
Oh, absolutely. Clark Phillips is a good corner out of Utah.
Yeah, there's some guys that I think are worth 4th round grades, and internally, like Drew Sanders, Trenton Thompson, Jack Campbell, Henry Tuatua is, all worth probably first rounds for me at the linebacker. So I really think that they can get better at one of those 2 positions, but that's just me personally.
Yeah, people don't think like us, though.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm sure the Cincinnati fans are thinking the same thing we are.
Absolutely.
Dear God, don't take a tight end in the first round.
Yeah, especially after they took the best left tackle in the game 2 years ago.
Yeah,
so.
they did. We're talking about Jamar Chase, by the way, in case you haven't watched our videos enough. This dude's huge.
I'm saying there's plenty of damn offensive linemen right there that are just phenomenal. Like these guards.
Luke Weicker is probably my favorite.
He was great at
Jordan McFadden at Clemson's really not that bad actually either. But
when you go all the way, you go down to where there's no way all these guards will be gone by the time the Bengals get to the draft.
No. There's going to be a lot of offensive players that go in this first round this year.
Yeah. So, all right. Any other thing you want to add?
They need to draft a left guard.
Yes.
Left guard or left tackle. It needs to be an L in the first letter.
And they need to learn to pay the refs a little bit more, like Kansas.
Yeah, they really do.
The refs obviously bet on.
They signed a bigger check. They might have won that game.
Yeah.
So
you got to bring in the duffel bags like KC did. Yeah. So, all right. Hit us in the comments. Let us know what moves you would make for the Cincinnati Bengals here in the offseason to get them back to the Super Bowl. And as always, we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe.